everybody, it's your boy Snow.
Lieutenant Dan here.
I'm gonna have to interrupt this because it is now Sister Dan. I'm sticking her ass in a convent. We've been talking about this, and since you're such a little sinner, we're gonna be sticking her in a convent, everybody. So let me know.
Lieutenant Dan here.
It's Sister Dan, everybody.
No.
Peace be with you. She's been out here living a wild and reckless life. So
I'm
if you
22. So.
That 22 thing only goes so far. You know what I'm saying? You little rapscallion. You're out here getting pregnant on the day. I'm just kidding.
I'm not pregnant yet.
Anyways, unfortunately, we did set up to record a guest stream. Words. We did set up to record a guest spot on here, but much like the Rolo podcast, there was some problems.
The thing is, that makes me mad. It's like my phone's fault.
Yeah, it's your fault. Again, you guys remember how last time she didn't push record? No, I'm sorry, she pushed record, she didn't push save.
I did this time.
So this time, she did press record, but...
And save.
But the problem is, she has an old janky phone, so whenever we were trying to do a video call, every like 5 minutes we would start getting in conversation. It would freeze up really bad and we have to restart the call. We did that like 3 times and it just wasn't feasible for an hour-long discussion. And we would do it on my phone, but that's how we're seeing you guys right now.
So as soon as I get my actual phone fixed.
Yeah, then we will have both Angela and Mikey be our guests. So we're super excited for that, but unfortunately can't make it happen. I should not have taken that drink of soda right before we started. I feel like I have to burp, so I apologize, y'all, if I do. So anyway, some shit has been crazy in the media this whole last week.
I still haven't heard much about it.
About the whole Facebook thing?
Mm-hmm.
I told you about what happened.
You told me about it, but like on the interwebs, I haven't heard anything about it. All I know is from you.
So I'm sure a lot of you guys have noticed that Facebook and Instagram was down last week. And if you haven't looked into why, it is because a whistleblower from within Facebook had taken a bunch of documents outside of Facebook and quit her job. And then she leaked them all over the internet. And basically, I don't remember exactly what it was, but I'll put some screenshots up here. You guys can see. 60 Minutes had done a whole video on it, so that'll kind of get you guys up to speed. If you do, I'll leave that in the description. But basically, it was saying how Facebook has been promoting hate. A lot of anger-worthy content on their platform. A lot of positive stuff doesn't get a lot of traction on Facebook or Instagram.
Well, side note, I feel like that's how it is on most platforms. The positive things don't really get as much attention as the more negative, hateful things.
That's something that we've all known, but it was confirmed by somebody who worked within Facebook. So essentially it shut down Facebook and Instagram for about a day because of the amount of traffic that they were getting and the amount of hate that they were getting for all of what we've known being confirmed. So it was pretty crazy. And allegedly it hurt a bunch of like teenage girls on Instagram who have like, you know, body dysmorphia problems who, you know, see themselves as being too big or anything like that, so they're doing the anorexia and stuff like that. So they'll get a lot of posts promoted to them that are negative that will, you know, cause them to be more depressed, and this whole vicious cycle. It's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
I can't believe that it was like actually confirmed. People were like, yep, this is actually a thing.
Yeah, and then like the whole, what was it, January 6th? That was when the insurrection was?
I don't remember.
Do you remember what an insurrection is?
No.
Where all those whiteys stormed the Capitol and tried taking over for America.
Yeah, it was somewhere in there.
Yeah, I think it was around then. So organizations like that are really promoted on Facebook, and a lot of just wackadoo people. Straight whackers. Shout out to you, donut operator. Yeah, and then Dave Chappelle is trending again and trying to be recanceled. Which, fuck you. You know what I mean?
Honestly.
You'll never cancel Dave Chappelle.
No.
Ever.
It's not a thing.
You remember how you had said that you'd seen that he had a new special?
Yeah.
And then I told you I'd seen it, but it's not like a comedy. It's more of like a discussion.
With jokes, I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why he's being canceled, because in there he talks about transgenders a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
And the alphabet mafia is trying to cancel him again. They're very upset, which makes no fucking sense. Like, watch it. If you got a problem with it, watch the fucking stand-up. Because it's basically an hour-long discussion about transgender people dedicated to his transgender friend who killed themselves. You know what I mean? Like...
So, like, maybe watch the thing you're shitting on before you shit on it.
Yeah. Know what it is you're talking about. And what's great, something that I caught whenever I watched it, and then now I've been seeing videos on TikTok especially, they're isolating these two people, and they'll zoom in on them, because they're your typical fucking purple, blue-haired, just fuck you types that are real cancel happy, that were at his show for some reason, who didn't laugh, didn't smile, didn't chuckle, or clap a single time throughout the entirety of this filming. And you can see them each time, and you're just like, everyone's like, oh, and they're just like mad as fuck, and you're just like,
come on, man.
why would you go to a Chappelle filming if you didn't know who he is? And if you do know who he is, why are you mad?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, if you know who he is, you know who he is.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to watch it.
It's good. It hits you in the feels at the end. Spoiler alert, I ruined it for you, the ending of it. But even knowing that going into it, you can still appreciate it. Because if you've watched his past, I think 3 stand-ups that he put on Netflix, they're not the same as before he went into retirement.
Yeah.
Chappelle before he went into retirement was just nothing but jokes on jokes on jokes, which he's always going to be the GOAT. I'm not trying to take anything away from him or discredit him or anything like that. It's just today he feels like he's trying to trigger people just for the sake of triggering them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a lot of subliminal stuff in there that's not so subliminal. If you watch his newest stand-up, he'll tell you more of why he's been saying what he's been saying and who specifically he has a problem with. So it's worth a watch. It was really good.
Yeah, I want to watch it. I like all his stand-ups, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. He's a master at what he does.
Yeah.
And what's crazy to me is how much people are trying to cancel him for what he's saying now. But whenever he's talking about black people, or if he's talking about white people, or any other groups, nobody ever gave a fuck or canceled him. But you talk about this one group, and all of a sudden it's like, stop traffic.
Yeah. Call Fox News.
We can't have that. Which is crazy. It's crazy to put yourself into a box where you're immune to criticism or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He won't be canceled because he's like, no.
No, not at all. I don't remember exactly. Jamie, will you look it up how much his Netflix deal was?
Yeah.
I want to say it was something crazy like 500 million, but I could be making shit up right now. I could be completely full of shit, you guys. So, if I am, I apologize for that. Yeah, I fucking love Chappelle. He's one of those people that he just touches your soul. You know, Chappelle's show is one of my favorite shows of all time because it touched on all different kinds of topics. It wasn't just, one lane. Excuse me, there it was. There was that burp I was telling you guys about. We call it the Georgetown burp. Heard around the world.
Sorry. It's taking a while to type this in.
Last night on our stream, I had heartburn, so one of my moderators told me to drink some ice milk. I don't have any ice, so I just stuck a popsicle in it. It didn't help, but it made me feel fancy as fuck. Like trailer park fancy, you know what I mean?
60 million.
60 million?
Yeah.
So that's way different than 500 million.
Yeah.
By like a lot of numbers, you know what I mean?
But like a couple zeros.
Yeah, but all the same, it's like, look up what was the biggest Netflix deal, because there was something to do with Chappelle and a ridiculously big Netflix deal.
If I check on what was the biggest, what was the first article was first deodorant.
What was the first deodorant? Yeah, we went down a rabbit hole of trying to find like the first deodorants, and history had to have smelled terrible. Because if you think about it, go back to like the 1500s and just take a whiff. Not one person was really like wearing deodorant. If they were brushing their teeth, I feel like it wasn't that meaningful.
I was specifically told, Google what the 1500s smelled like.
Yeah.
Like Google's like, your smell.
Right? Yeah.
We found museums that like have smells incorporated into their exhibit though, like in the UK.
I'm pretty sure it was Oxfordshire is where it's at, right?
Yeah.
Because you thought that was in New York. I remember that distinctly. So I may be a
Why you got
dumbass.
it out?
Because I just look like the biggest moron saying he got a $500 million deal and it was $60 million. You know what I mean?
Netflix made its biggest acquisition ever, agreeing to spend more than $700 million to buy Ronald. I don't know how to say that.
Ronald Dahl?
Dahl.
The Ronald Dahl, sorry.
The Ronald Dahl story, yeah.
Who the fuck is Ronald Dahl?
Which owns characters and creations like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Matilda.
Okay. What's the second biggest one then? That's... My brain is turning to soup, y'all. I'm just out here making shit up.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, you remember it now? Yeah, so before we would Google stuff, and then she wouldn't screenshot what she was recording so I could put it right up for you guys. And I would have to go through and try and find it. Didn't work out. So now she's remembering to screenshot. We're finally getting in the flow of this. We're finally figuring out, you know, how to actually do the shit legit.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah, I will say, I'm not the most happy with our new setup, but it could be a hell of a lot worse. Like that entire week that we were out live streaming in public sucked cocks and dicks.
Yeah.
So
I can't tell you how many times we got asked if we were homeless.
yeah, every stream people were like, "Are you guys homeless?" When before, like 1 out of 4 streams would be outside, and nobody ever asked if we were homeless. But then we had randos just coming through that were like, "Oh, are you guys homeless?" Like, yeah, motherfucker, we fancy homeless. We have all these ring lights and everything. It was a social experiment.
It's not giving me any straight up answers.
Okay, it's fine.
Not having it.
Yeah, it's fine. I know it was.
It's just a bunch of
Maybe it was like
articles
one of the biggest comedy specials.
yeah.
Maybe that's what it was. Because I don't want to keep making shit up, but I feel like that's maybe what it was. I've already
Possibly.
in the first 10 minutes, I've already looked like the dumbest human being who's ever walked the planet. So
Disclaimer: we don't know what we're talking about.
yeah, start a podcast where we say a lot of shit we don't know what we're talking about. Speaking of saying shit we don't know what we're talking about, there has been a little bit of hate on one of our newest videos on TikTok. The one, the one where people are insinuating that I'm a little bit racist because I'd called you property. But what's funny about it is, like, that's how we talk at the shop. And it has nothing to do with race. It has everything to do with, she's 50% plastic. Like, her legs are prosthetics. So those are actual, like, property. They belong to you. So I'm just like, you are property. But
if I'm being honest, I didn't know that was the origin. I was just like,
that's the origin, dog. Because 50% of you is plastic. And metal.
well, yeah, if you want to add metal in there, let's throw in my hips, my legs, my face.
You have metal hips?
I don't quote me on this, but
Now you're making shit up too? You steering into my lane? Stirring into my lane? What am I, Nelly? I'm from St. Louis.
I do believe, because of all of the bone they've taken from my hips to put into my face, I now have some metal in my hips.
So So you just regular ass Iron Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just, man, excuse me.
I will assume your gender.
How dare you?
Cancel me.
I just pulled a whole ass head off my eyelash.
You know what's even more funny?
No, what?
Our vegan video has 100% positivity so far.
Really?
Not a single negative comment.
I'm not gonna lie. When you called me last night and you were like, hey, look at that comment, go say something to it. I was half asleep. So I went and like replied to it and then fell back asleep and then woke up to a message like, did you say it? And I was like, yeah, I don't understand what the issue is. I thought that's what I was supposed to say. Good night.
Okay, so I'm cutting that part out. And 3, 2, 1.
I guess.
Yeah, so that video has like 100% positivity. The other one's doing pretty well. Our numbers starting to go back up.
I'm glad we're back on that FYP.
Yeah, we took a little bit of a break from posting videos on there too, and it didn't kill the channel by any means, but it definitely slowed down our growth.
Yeah.
So that was a bit of a bummer. And then one of our moderators who watches our stuff here, shout out Alan Scott. He had left. Remember, he had left the comment on the property video. And we were just like, well, we knew this comment was coming, but we didn't expect it from Alan.
Mm-hmm.
So then I talked with you. I was like, what do we even say? And you're like, just leave it alone.
Mm-hmm.
So then whenever the next person had said, that Karen, who you commented on the same video,
Mm-hmm.
she had said, you can't say this ever. This is not acceptable or funny. And I was just like, taking, with like a handwriting emoji, notes. Taking emoji after I said, okay. And then Alan Scott was like, I basically said the exact same thing. You guys glossed over it.
No.
So I'd message him explaining, like, I don't want it to turn into something that it's not.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to get into an argument with you because you're like our brother. You know what I mean? But I had a little bit of a heart to heart. But where I'm going with that is I think I learned it from Patrice O'Neill. I advocate for comedy 100% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I do not agree with this new school of thought and these newer generations or the adapters of it that are like, you can joke about this, but you can't joke about that. Like, you can't tell me what I can and can't joke about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
I agree.
like Patrice said in that clip that we had watched,
Mm-hmm.
you don't know what's going to be funny until you say it. Funny and unfunny shit come from the same birth, he said.
Yep.
And you just have to, like, I'm all for having the right and the ability to try it out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the more we go towards this, you can't joke about this, it's a sensitive subject, is bullshit.
Yeah. We're never gonna get back to just like comedy until people stop being like, oh, that's offensive, you can't say that.
Yeah.
Just like, it's all, you just say it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
That night
you don't
that
know.
Foxy had talked about on our stream, she had said, I don't remember the whole punchline of the joke because it actually did hurt a little bit reading it, about emo kids.
Yeah.
And it had to do with suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And that hit really close to home, but I didn't say anything to her about it. I didn't say anything during the stream, and I didn't say anything after the stream, because I'm not going to tell somebody what they can and can't joke about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If that was her attempt to shoot her shot and make something funny, it probably made a couple people chuckle, which at the end of the day is what comedy is about. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like we've put too much stock into having everybody else make sure we're comfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just because something, like, you're not a fan of something doesn't mean it's not funny to other people. And it doesn't mean that you have to sit there and try and tell them they can't say that anymore just because you don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Anthony Jeselnik isn't gonna, like, everyone who is a Gabriel Iglesias fan isn't gonna love Anthony Justin.
No, hell no.
So, but that doesn't mean that they're gonna, or that they should go be like, fuck you, Anthony.
Yeah, just because
it's not
you
their
like,
brand.
yeah, just because you like Justin, like, doesn't mean that you're wrong. And just because you like Gabriel Iglesias doesn't mean that you're wrong. I think that if these people are trying to cancel everything and just hear what they're comfortable with, have any say in it, comedy will be dead. And the most unfunny version of itself ever, and it'll never get back to where it should be, where you can say whatever you want in hopes of making shit. Because at the end of the day, comedy is made for one thing. It's not made just, you're bored, so I want to laugh. It's, comedy is, we're going through hard shit, and the way we get through it is we laugh. Mm-hmm. So you talk about tough subjects. You talk about things that are, you know, a little bit like, because that's how you get through it. Have you ever seen where people are arguing with each other and getting ready to fight each other? One of them will start laughing. It's not because they're like, oh, you're such a pussy, I'm about to kill you. It's like, this is a tough subject for me. This is a tough thing for me to deal with, so I'm going to laugh because that's how I get through things. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of these people who are just professionally offended don't get that. And it's like, okay, comedy's not for you. That's cool.
Go listen. I'm laughing.
Yeah. Go listen to your fucking Write Down Middle America and go have fun with that, you know?
Yeah.
Go have fun listening to Margaret Cho or whatever the fuck it is you want to hear. Let the other people do what they're going to do.
Just let them have their laughs. If you don't want to partake,
scroll.
Go.
Scroll.
It's not that hard
easy.
Of emotion.
Scroll. Real simple. Touchscreen now. Just yeah. It's crazy that we've gotten here.
Yeah.
Richard Pryor would have never been a thing if he was born today.
Absolutely not.
Eddie Murphy would never be who he is had he been born today. Mm-mm. I feel like any of these people who want to cancel Chappelle, they're not allowed to say that they like Eddie Murphy or Richard Pryor. Because they may not have been talking about transgenders because transgenders weren't as popular back then. There were still transgenders, but it wasn't out in Main Street. It wasn't...
It was more hushed.
Yeah, it just wasn't something talked about much. Yeah. But gay people were definitely talked about. And both Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor in their specials were talking about him. And Eddie Murphy was dropping some hard F words in that fucking... in both of his specials.
Yeah.
But they're hilarious. You know what I mean? So...
But if you're going to sit there and try and cancel Dave Chappelle...
Yeah.
I better not catch you laughing at Eddie Murphy or Richard Pryor.
Yep. Yeah. I literally had seen a clip of Dave Chappelle's newest stand-up on TikTok. And then I just like seeing what people are saying these days so I can get a temperature of what's going on. Mm-hmm. And one person in the comments was like, I didn't think that this was funny even remotely. My boyfriend, on the other hand, loves Dave Chappelle, so I've seen all of his stand-ups, and I just have never even cracked a smile. And then somebody in the comments had asked her, like, so who do you think is funny? And she for sure listed Dave Chappelle, Richard Pryor, Red Fox, and Bernie Mac. I was like, you know what all those people have in common? They were saying risque shit too. But because somebody's talking about the people you can't talk about in today's day and age, all of a sudden, canceled.
Yeah. Fuck them. How dare you talk about things we can't talk about? You thought I was saying something?
Yeah, I was like, what are you saying right now? Shit, we were just talking about this the other night too. There was these fucking idiots over in the UK that are trying to cancel Grand Theft Auto.
Yep.
Oh. This shit got me so started the other day.
It got all of us started the other day.
Yeah, we have legit trans people that we work with that I was picking their brain on this to see if I'm just crazy. If I'm so out of touch with reality that I've aged myself into this old version of myself. And now this is one person's opinion. It doesn't reflect everybody within the community. But they were like, no, the fuck are y'all even talking about right now? So I'm going to leave another link in the description to this podcast that was just fucking ridiculous. So, do you want to talk about this? Or do you want me to kind of launch into it? We'll have a little bit of a back and forth.
We'll have a back and forth because I haven't done my research on this one.
Okay.
Once again, I just know what you've told me.
You gotta start fact checking the dog because I was wrong about Dave Chappelle and how much he made off of Netflix. So make sure you're doing an independent study to make sure you can call me out on my bullshit, alright? But this is fresh in my head, and I'm gonna leave the link in the description so you guys can actually hear it yourself too. So you don't think I'm just making some shit up.
I also did hear some of the video that you were watching.
So essentially, these people were saying, what should Rockstar do about re-releasing Grand Theft Auto 5 on next generation platforms? Because Grand Theft Auto has been out for I think 8 years now. I think it came out in 2013, if I'm not mistaken. And there are transphobic elements to the game, right? So it was 5 people who have never even played the fucking game. One of them had played it for like 15 minutes, but not one of these motherfuckers had beat the game by any stretch. And what they were harping on is there is a NPC. Now, if you don't play video games, an NPC is a non-playable character, so it's a computer. It's just like a pedestrian walking down the street. And before I zoom in on what they're talking about right there, in all the previous Grand Theft Auto games, we were talking with Penis about this the other day. What is the... excuse me, dude, I'm not drinking soda while I'm this. I'm out here being a disgusting human being. Bark? How you doing?
How you doing?
So, what is the few things that you know you can do in all the Grand Theft Auto games?
Prostitutes?
Well, that too, but just what are the things you do in the game?
You drive, pop people, steal cars.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's frowned upon in the game, but you can.
Yeah, cops chase you, but you can steal any car you want, really.
Pretty much just do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Like...
You play the game how you want, right?
Yeah. The game gives you choices. You can do whatever you want.
So, what are... Now, you were going to say, what was the first part that you had said?
Prostitutes.
So, what is one thing that I had told you there never was until Grand Theft Auto 5? What were all the prostitutes looking like before Grand Theft Auto 5?
Oh, no.
It's an easy layup. Spoiler alert. They're all female.
Oh, okay. Female.
They're all biological cis-het females. Right? It feels ridiculous to even say out
I
loud.
forgot because I think prostitute automatically. I'm like a female.
Wow. Wow. How transphobic of you. So, in all the previous Grand Theft Auto games, you can pick up prostitutes and do the do, as it were. And then afterwards, if you so choose to kill them and get your money back, you can, or you can drive off into the sunset. You do it how you want. It's a sandbox game, so you play it how you want. And what people are saying, those dummies over in the UK specifically, is this game is transphobic because you have the ability to shoot these people, which you have the ability to shoot literally anybody in the game. Literally. Nobody's off limits. So I think that that's kind of ridiculous. But then they were saying that you should get this trans person out of the game, which to me is transphobic.
Yeah, why would you... There's a trans person in the game.
There's finally a trans person in the game.
So why would you be advocating to remove them?
Yeah. And one of the things they were talking about is how there is a very noticeable bulge on this trans person, which that happens in real life. You know what I mean? From my understanding of it, you don't even have to have a sex change or any... You don't... Right now, I could say, I'm transgender. And now you have to respect me and call me a female. Right? Respect my power type. And I'm not saying that to clown right now. I'm saying legit, that's what's been told to me. So if those are the prerequisites, that person in the game is just as transgender as Bruce gender. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion. So then another problem that they had with the game was that there are UPS style trucks that say post-op on them. So that's kind of, even our friend at the shop didn't understand what that meant until I explained all the rest of the context. And they're like, I fucking guess.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I could post up because I'm in and out of hospitals with surgeries. I automatically think of post-surgery. But, that being said, my brain doesn't automatically go to post-op gender reassignment surgery.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's literally a mail truck in the game, which I've never even noticed. And the transgender character in the game, I have beat this game more than I've beat any other game, and I've never even noticed this person. So it's not like it's a main character that the game is telling you go kill and brutalize or any of this other stuff.
And there's so many other things that you could get mad about that game.
Yeah.
Like, one of the whole ass main characters of the game is a wild human being.
He's a tweaker. You're literally playing as a tweaker, and the game is gaslighting you into falling in love with this tweaker, making everything seem okay. All of his reprehensible behavior.
Words.
Yeah, words. So
Why is
it's just weird that this one thing is being singled out that I didn't even know was a thing.
Because it feels like it feels like reaching.
Yeah, it's
to
for
the
sure
fullest
reaching.
extent.
Yeah, this is reaching so hard your arm was detached and you threw it up there to reach.
Like they took the rest of my arm
Yeah.
to reach it. It's
And that's
hard
why
now.
you have it no more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just such a weird time that we're living in, because I had woken up to this article because I follow a lot of gaming stuff, and it said, what should Grand Theft Auto do about its transphobia in the next gen consoles? And I was like, transphobic? I've beat Grand Theft Auto so many times and I can't even remember transgender stuff being in the game.
Not only that, but you're currently playing Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah.
Like, he's playing it. I've been watching him play it.
Yeah.
Recently, every day for the past little bit.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's been years since he's played it and I've never seen it. We're actively currently playing it and not noticing this thing.
Yeah. I don't know, man. The whole thing of their article was that they had seen... Now, most of the people had never played the game.
Which is wild in itself.
Yeah,
you haven't even played it and you're trying to cancel it.
Yeah. So they had seen a YouTube clip that some gamer had put out where they decided to go and kill this transgender person in the game. And then some random person in the world in a YouTube comment said, "You're doing the Lord's work," which is a fucked up thing to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if that's your stance, that's shitty stance. And then to put that out there, that's even more shitty. But that doesn't represent the entire gaming community and humanity.
Like, they're not the head of Rockstar.
No, Rockstar didn't say, this is what you can do in the game.
It's just some random person commenting on a random video on YouTube.
Yeah, and they were like, now because of this, Grand Theft Auto is the fucking problem.
Like...
And also, to try and cancel Grand Theft Auto is crazy in and of itself, because the entire game is built around being a criminal. And I don't mean like one of them Wall Street criminals who are fucking sleeping in their mansions as they're ripping you off. No, I mean, like, you're killing drug dealers, and you are a drug dealer.
You're a tweaker.
You're a tweak in this game. You're a tweaker. But I mean, the previous iterations, you were basically Scarface in Grand Theft Auto Vice City. And then San Andreas, you were a gangbanger. And then in Grand Theft Auto 3, you were part of the mafia. You know what I mean? So you're doing all these different things that are like not stand-up, citizens of America type shit.
Yeah.
So...
But still, like you said, you're a criminal.
Yeah, you're a fucking criminal.
At the end of the day, you're playing as a criminal, so you're trying to get this game canceled.
Yeah.
When literally the...
Yeah. Nobody ever made that much of a stink about like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas or anything like that, because there's an argument there where you're playing as... And the first time in Grand Theft Auto, you're playing as an African American, and of course you're a gang member, and you're selling drugs and all these other things. So that's, showing black people in a negative light. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
But nobody really made that much of a fuss about it. But I'm telling you, talk about one group, and it's cancel everything.
Stop traffic.
It's crazy, man. Crazy time we're living in.
Yeah.
You kicked my leg.
I'm gonna kick it off.
I'm gonna kick it off. Yeah, so that's kind of some of the stuff that we've been reading about over the past couple, days.
On a different, much lighter note, I've been watching The Flash.
Yeah, which season are you on?
4.
4?
With the Thinker, yeah.
That was a good one. That's the one where all the Lady Luck and all that, right?
Yeah, all the 12 bus medals.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
There's a lot.
Damn, that... You said on a different note, but that show is...
That's what made me think of it.
Everything is falling victim to cancel culture.
What made me think of The Flash is... I'm watching it, but for those of you who don't know, Hartley Sawyer, who played Ralph Dibny in the show, will not be returning to The Flash because of past racist and misogynistic tweets that he made before he was even a part of a CW, but they fired him for it. And we went up and looked up the tweets, and I'm going to do screenshots right now.
Okay.
Just in case. But there's nothing bad about them. It's just people that don't agree with their sense of humor, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like...
They weren't, like, Mel Gibson level tweets.
Yeah. There was one that could be considered racist.
I don't remember what it was.
It could be considered racist.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was. But we'll put them up on screen so you guys can see. But I think that's another thing that's plaguing the industry is people getting canceled for past things.
Yeah, like
things that they did. He did these before he was even on the show.
Yeah. And so, like, that, and, like, people don't change.
Yeah.
Like, if you do this one thing, you are that same person forever.
I'm a firm believer, seeing how society is going, if you're racist, don't bother changing. If you're homophobic, don't bother changing. If you're any of these bad things, literally, don't worry about changing. Because even if you do, you're always going to be that thing for the rest of your life.
Yep, you can never recover from...
No, being a bad person. Like, same thing with being incarcerated. If you get out of prison, there's no sense in getting out of prison. They might as well just shoot you. Instead of putting people in prison, just kill them.
Yeah.
Because they're always going to be this bad person. Because I'd seen that other video that we had seen, remember? Mm-hmm. You want to tell it?
It was a video of this man, and he had, what was it, the tattoo on his back?
He had a tattoo of a Klansman on his back.
A Klansman. And so, then he, like, grew and changed the person, and he had adopted this little African-American boy. And so he got that tattoo on his back covered up with, like, an eagle. And he posted, like, that story on TikTok, and he got this tattoo because he was like, this is not who I am anymore, and people were shitting all over him and were like, you don't deserve this child, this is what's wrong with the system, like, all this stuff, mm-hmm. Which, like, what, so, because years ago he believed that, he can't now change and have a child? He's not allowed to have a child now?
Yeah, he was in the video. He was literally in tears that he had ever thought that way, and he was happy that he had gotten his tattoo covered up. And he was like, "Had I never changed, this wouldn't be my son." And he was so happy that he has this little boy who changed his whole life. And everybody was like, he should have never been allowed to adopt that little black boy. And then a lot of people in the comments were like, everybody has every right to be apprehensive about this given our history. And it's like, okay, I get that. But also, if people can't change and they're not capable of changing, then what is the point of changing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What?
Like, it's not like he was literally just this racist piece of shit who went and adopted a baby. I don't know if y'all know anything about adopting a kid, but it's not the easiest fucking task.
No.
It's not just even to get custody back of me and my 2 sisters. My mom, who's my fucking biological mom, couldn't just go and be like, hey, so give me back my kids. It was a process. So you can't just go and adopt some random kid as some piece of shit person. Now, I'm sure there's been times where it's happened, but it's not the easiest process. So I'm sure he wasn't just like, guess what? It's midnight, I'm no longer racist. I'm going to get me a black kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, like, I was um, with my mom for 2 years before she actually was able to adopt me.
Yeah.
It took 2 years for her to be able to adopt me, and I was living with her the whole time. Like, she took me to doctor's appointments, everything, took care of me, but still, 2 years.
Of having like social workers and everything show up and
Social
see how you guys are
workers,
doing.
Court dates,
Yeah.
all that stuff. So it's not like you just be like, alright, I'm gonna go to this, should be home in about 10 minutes.
Yeah. So where we were going with all that is at the end of the newest season of Flash, Ralph Dibny's not going to be on the show no more because he had said those things I just showed y'all, which is just, it's crazy to me.
And me too. It makes me sad because I really love him.
He was a good character on the show.
He was a great character, and I guess I haven't seen the newest season, so spoiler alert for those of you who haven't, but you said that they keep Ralph's character?
So I haven't finished it because after I heard that they're canceling him and the way that they went about it, I don't support cancel culture. Yeah. So I have no interest in finishing out the show. But Miss Snow had watched it and she had said that basically they kept him on just with a mask on and then they sent him off to go be in some other city and that's how they handled it. Yeah. So for the episodes you do see him, he's wearing a mask.
I have no interest in seeing that.
Yeah.
Like, I fell in love with that character because of the actor who played him.
And how quirky he is, right?
He's like one of my favorite characters on the show.
Yeah, he's super funny.
Whenever he, like... Because I know that he comes back, obviously, from DeVoe, after DeVoe gets him. But I don't really remember how, because it's been so long since I've seen The Flash. And I don't remember how much he's in the show after DeVoe, but I have no interest in seeing not him.
Right, yeah.
So,
yeah.
And I don't want to, I think it's so stupid why they fired him, so I don't really feel like supporting it after.
We need to cancel culture.
Honestly.
For real. Because there's so many good shows, movies, musicians, everything. I mean, there are some shitty people out there, and I believe if you're out there saying the shit that like Mel Gibson says, then yeah, fuck him. You know what I mean?
That's
but people who make lighthearted jokes like he made, really? You really put your foot down, you really stopped everything.
And he had to make this whole apology thing.
Which
for like those tweets.
So what I feel is people only get canceled who allow themselves to be canceled. And second, if he had to make a big ass apology and still got fired, I'd be like, fuck you guys. Double down.
Yeah.
Triple down.
If you're still gonna fire.
If I've learned anything from Dave Chappelle or Anthony Jeselnik, like triple the fuck down, dog.
If Anthony has taught me anything.
Yeah. Refuse to get canceled, man.
Like you said, especially if you're gonna fire me.
Like Kevin Hart. They made Kevin Hart apologize for literally jokes.
Jokes from years ago that were taken out of context. And still.
And also taken serious. Dave Chappelle said it the best. Because it was all about how he said, if my son was gay, I would hit him in the head with a dollhouse. So Dave Chappelle said,
yes,
you would have to buy him a dollhouse. That makes no fucking sense. Why would you do that?
In order to hit him over the head with his dollhouse, you have to buy him one. Like,
yeah. It makes no sense. Like, it's not a real thing people are doing.
If you're gonna take it that serious, at least break down the joke.
Yeah. I think it's a lot of people who don't understand comedy who are just, like, they don't understand jokes. It's like, what does that mean? Oh, no, we can't do that. It's like, dude, if you don't understand comedy, just say that.
Just say you don't understand funny, okay?
It's okay.
It's not for everyone.
But yeah.
It's a lot of layers.
Right. So, you've been watching Flash. Mm-hmm. I started rewatching The Sopranos because they just came out with the new movie. I think it's called The Saints of Newark, I believe. The Saints of Newark.
I feel like I've heard you say that before.
So it's basically the Sopranos movie, and it was really good. But because I haven't seen The Sopranos that many times, I've only seen the show all the way through once, and it was a while ago that I had seen it because this show came out before the towers fell. I know that because it takes place in New Jersey, and you see the Twin Towers in the opening credits of every episode.
Oh.
So
I
it's
like that kind of reference.
I know y'all keep harping on that. I said that the other day. I was like, yeah, this happened before the towers fell, because that's a frame of reference. I mean, it's 2001. This happened pre 2001. Cancel me.
Also, I like how you just raised up. Hello.
I got this shitty chair, y'all, that is missing a wheel. So I be leaning like a cholo, like that. And the hydraulics are fucked up, so it just.
I'd like to point out, though, side note, if I may. I wanted that chair. That chair was so.
You couldn't handle this chair.
That chair. It was before it was all fucked up.
But don't worry, you'll get your opportunity once I buy the new one, because this is going to be yours.
No, that was not the deal.
Sister Dan, you're supposed to turn the other cheek and just accept it. Whoa.
So, I looked at this chair, and he said, here's the thing, I'll give you my old chair. That way you have a cushion in your chair, and you give me this new chair. And after about 5 to 10 minutes of a back and forth, I finally was like, okay.
Bark? How you doing?
I was finally like, okay, you can have it. And so, we were like we were gonna film, but
Does this smell like popcorn?
we were gonna eat. I was eating, he already ate. And so, he was sitting over there, and the chair spinning, and I was eating, and he almost ate shit. And that's how we found out it was missing a wheel.
No, we knew it was missing a wheel whenever I was carrying it over there. I walked back over there to try and find it. Remember?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that whole part.
Yeah. So there you are. It's not just me making stuff up. It's also you. What's the truth?
I forgot about that whole part. That was weeks ago. But I just remember being shocked. I guess in that moment I forgot that it was missing a wheel because I was so shocked that you almost fell. I was like, why did that happen?
Why is this happening?
Why is this happening?
Man, I'm so fucking excited. I'm getting my truck back tomorrow. I've had my truck back. Yeah, I'm getting the hoe back. For the past 3 months, I haven't been able to drive it because my lifters were fucked up and my catalytic converter shit out on me. And then the tags expired, so I couldn't get the tags until all that other stuff was fixed. It's been a nightmare. But tomorrow, taking it to go get tags, and your boy's gonna have the hoe back. Your boy's gonna have the hoe back. And I've been talking to my brother, who is a wizard with motherfucking subwoofers.
Mm-hmm.
This dude knows subwoofers like I know tattooing.
Okay, but what he said the last time you talked to him was hilarious.
What?
We'll see if it hits harder.
Oh. Yeah, so I was telling him how another reason my Tahoe was fucked up is because my last mechanic fucked me on it. He supposedly had fixed my lifters and everything, took my money, didn't do shit. So I'm very fucking mad about that. And he's the same jackass who hooked up my subs and just didn't do a very good job of it. So I've been learning it from my brother now because I've been in constant contact with him. And I was telling him how janky my shit was. And he was, okay, well, we're going to get it hooked up. And then I need you to rewire it. And then we're going to test out how good your amp is. It's either going to hit really hard or it's going to catch on fire. And I was like, okay. He's like, no, it's not going to catch on fire. It'll just get hot and you'll know to turn it down. But I'm really excited because this motherfucker can make anything pound hard. So
I'm excited.
Because, I mean, already as it is, like, my subs will hit. Excuse me. They hit, but once I get them hooked up properly and in a good box, it's over.
It's over.
Your boy loves subwoofers.
Yes,
a whole lot. That's the thing I've been missing the most. And I've been driving Miss Snow's car. And so I know we said this in the last podcast, but I know that I have family members from Tucson that are watching. We call my wife Miss Snow, just out of privacy, so just so y'all know. I've been driving her Honda Accord, I believe it is. It's an '08 Accord. I mean, it's a nice car, but
I thought it was a Civic.
maybe it's a Civic.
I believe it's a Civic.
Okay, it's a Civic. My bad. Potato Badildo. You know what I mean? But it's so low to the ground. I mean, the Tahoe's up high. I have really tinted windows, so that's nice. I have heated seats, so... And, not to mention, my stereo is way better.
Yeah, you have a volume button that you... a knob that you don't have to, like...
So, wait. This entire time, we've been listening to music while we drive to work, and the volume was so low because Miss Snow doesn't listen to loud music. So it's been so quiet that we can literally have a conversation like this over the music. So I was having this conversation with Miss Snow like a week ago. Now I've been driving it for 3 months. And like a week ago I was explaining it. She's like, oh, she had to pull her volume knob off and then turn it up. And then it turned up. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? So for 3 months I've been listening to it where it's as quiet, like if a mouse farts in the car, it's going to be heard. You know?
I got in the car the other day and he was like, you want to see some bullshit? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, pop, turn. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. So, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, specifically, that song, fucking All Eyes on Me by Bo Burnham is so quiet that we could be whispering.
Yeah, and you can hear it. Yeah. So the reason that it's like that is because somebody had worn out the grip on the knob, so it just pops right off. So y'all want to know how much of a tweaker my wife is. I told her I could fix it so that it permanently doesn't come off. She's like, no, I still want to be able to take it off so I can clean it. Why do you have to clean behind your volume button? Who does that?
If you know that it can be done, I feel like I can see where she's coming from. Because now I bet it's in the back of her brain all the time. Just there's stuff behind the volume button, stuff.
But what gets behind there?
Dust.
Oh my god, not enough. Not enough to affect anything.
And like the screen
That's
and
inside
the top
of the electronics. It's not enough to fuck anything up.
Yes, but not to fuck it up, but it's just there. And if it comes...
So your choices are you either don't get to turn up your volume properly, you have to pop that off to turn it up, or you can have that problem fixed but deal with a little bit of dust that may accumulate in there.
I'm not saying I would do the same thing. I'm saying I see where she's coming from. I would definitely... I'm lazy. I wouldn't want to have to do the
so then in that case, you gotta take off your fucking air conditioning control.
No,
the
because
temperature
those
control.
don't come off. But the volume thing...
The volume knob is not supposed to come off.
It's not supposed to, but unfortunately it does.
Because it's broken. So you might as well go all the way, because there's dust behind the temperature control.
Why are you going to break things that aren't broken though? That's just breaking things to break. Now you're just causing more problems.
So basically, you can clean one part of your nose, but don't worry about cleaning any of the rest. There may be schmutz all in this other area, but just clean the one part of your nose.
Schmutz on my nose?
You definitely got a lot of schmutz on your nose.
Oh,
no. I'm just kidding. He said, do I have schmutz on my nose? I have one of the funniest clients. I was tattooing him the other day, and before we had gotten sick, I had coughed, and he was like, COVID. And we were like, what? And then the other day, we're like, dude, you know what's one of the funniest things you ever said? The way you said COVID. You said it like Kobe, but he was like, COVID. He's like, yeah, get your COVID here. COVID. It's fucking, that dude's a riot.
He's so funny.
He's super fucking funny.
That guy.
I have a dope roster of clients.
You do.
Every now and then I'll get some shit bags, but for the most part.
There's one, the one you had the other night. He was laying there, and I don't remember what we were talking about, but you just looked at him and you were like, I have no idea why you come back and listen to this.
I'll tell you what it was. We were talking about the movie The Old Guard, and how The Old Guard, if y'all haven't seen it, spoiler alert, The Old Guard's a really good movie. If you haven't seen it, stop watching this, go watch that, okay? And then you can come back and finish this out later. Yeah, come back after. Yeah, we're not telling you to fuck off. We love you.
We love you.
But in The Old Guard, it's basically about this group of people who are immortal. They can get shot 50,000 times and never die. There's one character, spoiler alert, who is trapped inside like this coffin and then thrown in the bottom of the ocean for like 300 fucking years. Which we're gonna circle back to that in a second.
We'll be back.
But they don't die until a certain amount of time. Fate basically tells them, okay, you've had enough of this. You've lived for thousands of years. It's time for you to go, and we're going to give it up to somebody else. But what we were talking about is there's some things that they didn't really explain in the movie that just seems like a logistical nightmare. Like, what if you got a bad ticker? You're just having a heart attack every day, like multiple times a day?
Also, so like, if you get shot, very clearly multiple times it sees you like get shot in like the face or something, your shit grows back. So you have some level of
you like fall over and die for like a minute.
Like max.
Yeah.
It's explained it takes a long time at the beginning, like when you first become immortal, and then it gets anyway. But your like face can like explode, but when you come back, your face is put back together. So you have some sort, or to some degree, regenerative properties, whatever, abilities. If you lose an arm, how is it like Deadpool? Like you start out with like a baby arm. Or
and
like,
it grows back.
Or like is it just like King Shark in the Flash? It just quickly like is the same.
What if you get ate by a shark or a fucking hippo? Like, are you just in there like, fuck, dude, I'm being digested, this is gonna take a while. Like, what if you don't have a knife on you? So you're just like, I literally have to be shit out by this animal.
I'll do you one more. What if you die? Like, what if like an alligator gets you? And like right here, and then they eat you, and you come back. Are you just like alive in the alligator? And
yeah,
you have to, like
wait it out. You know what I mean?
Are you gonna, what was it, Jonah? Just hang out with the whale?
He was like, so this is where I live now. What's up, MTV? This is my crib. Over here we got the uvula. Pow.
If you hit it real hard,
makes you have a nightclub because the whale's like,
gotta be careful if you hit it too hard, it makes a tsunami.
Yeah, so there's so many things that they didn't explain in that movie. We're just like, what the fuck, man? So now, looping back to that bitch who was thrown in the ocean, you know how fucking awful that is? Like, you're literally for 300 years drowning every day, multiple times a day.
And you're not like in pretty like scene, like on the coral reef. You're fucking at the bottom of a pitch dark ocean.
Darkness.
Like chilling with Cthulhu up in that ridge.
Just complete darkness, every day drowning. Like, that shit is gonna make you go bananas. And you're feral 100% of the time.
100%.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert, once again, that bitch makes it out.
Yeah.
At the end of the movie, you see that she makes it out. And
is talking. She's like, oh yeah, so we need to go over, do this.
Like
no, motherfucker, you forgot how to talk.
You've been dying every 4 to 7 minutes for the past 300 years, my guy.
Yeah, I don't know how many deaths that would be, but I feel like it's kind of a lot.
I feel like it's at least 5.
You should crunch those numbers. What would that be?
Okay, so we'll go We'll go with 5 minutes because it's more easily. So 5...
This is the kind of stuff that we do at the shop
5
all the
minutes times the way.
Now, I'm going to pause right here and we're going to come back once she gets it done. Holy shit.
My God.
That is 288 times a day that you're dying. 105,120 a year. And then for a grand total of 300 years, you are dying 31,536,000 times.
Assuming you die every 5 minutes. I think, more accurately, it takes 7 minutes. But
this number's not going to be that far off.
It's easier. 4 to 7, so we went 5.
Dude.
But you're not sane after that.
No, if you died 31 million times by drowning.
Think about it.
In a row, also.
Let's deep dive into this real quick. Not only are you just dying, but you're dying. As soon as you come back to life, you're drowning again.
Yeah, you're immediately drowning again.
Your muscles have to fucking atrophy. Because
that's another thing they never talk about.
Yes, your muscles have to atrophy. Your organs have to deteriorate because you're not eating.
Well, yeah, but then they grow back.
Yeah, but you've just died basically 32 million times.
But we're adding logic to something that's illogical. You know what I'm saying? We're adding science to something that's not supported by science.
That's the point of the deep dive.
I know. But what I'm saying is the organs disintegrating thing isn't going to happen because they regenerate. But still, the atrophy, because
Okay,
even though they grow back, let's say you're in a coffin like this. You know what I'm saying?
Because they put her in a metal coffin and toss that shit into the ocean. So it's not like she's got a whole lot of wiggle room in there.
Yeah.
She's like this.
Yeah.
For 300 years.
Yeah, dude.
So even if she's like trying to flail to like...
Let's just talk about how much you would be in pain too, because bed sores, right? That's a thing. So if the coffin lands upright and you're just standing there like some fucking asshole in carbonite, your heels are giving out, dog. You have the hardest heels that have ever existed. Not to mention how mushy your skin would be. Dude, there's so much they didn't talk about. She just walked out of the ocean, no problem.
That goes back to the whole regenerative thing.
Yeah, I guess.
Can
you imagine how swollen she has to be, though? Because even though you regenerate your skin, you're still got to be taking in a lot of water, dog.
But everything is regenerating.
It's regenerating, but you're still absorbing water into your tissue. Like, it may regenerate if it's damaged, but that's not really damaging. That's just bloating.
Well, along those lines, that bitch had to have just popped open the casket.
I don't think she's turning into the Michelin Man. She's not completely fitted for the coffin. There's a little bit of wiggle room in there.
There's a little bit of wiggle room.
She's not as big as you.
It's 300 years, dog.
Yeah, but there's a max amount that your body can absorb. It's not an infinite amount that you can just expand. She's not one of them fucking magic little pills that you throw into the water that turn into a giant sponge. You know what I'm saying?
Those sponges don't get but like maybe an inch and a half big.
Okay, or that turtle that I put into that jar that got 18 times its size, right? My God. Anyways. Just imagine she had to be so puffed. Yeah, just puffed. She was puffer fish. Man, there's so much that they didn't explain in that movie.
Dude, they're making a second one though.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to know. Because Andy loses her immortality.
Spoiler alert.
Along the spoiler alert lines. Andy loses her immortality, which is why, Nile, I think that was her name.
Nyla, I think.
Nyla.
I think it's Nyla.
Well, yeah. The new one.
The new one.
She is brought in because Andy was the original.
Yeah.
And she did amazing work. Like, going back throughout history, every great thing that has ever happened, if you go back like a couple generations, it's because Andy saved someone.
Which, they never touch on that. How did she know? She was just, like,
I don't think she did.
But they didn't explain her as having witches. Like, that's kind of a coincidence. You know what I'm saying?
But I don't think it's a coincidence so much as she just helped that many people. If you help that many people, you're bound to help all these people who then have a ripple effect on history.
Alright.
Because
many concede to that.
Many concede?
Yeah, many concede to that.
Because it doesn't just talk about the fact that she helps the people who then have the ripple effect, but she helps, like, a disrespectful amount of people.
That she does.
But I want to know what's going to happen, because it's set up to, I feel like, be centered around that bitch that was dying for 300 years.
Well, what I feel like is her and Booth are teaming up, and Booth is exiled
for 130 years.
Yeah, something like that. Which also, why add the 3? Knock that off, make it even 100. Right?
Also, where they were supposed to meet was on the coast, like on a shoreline.
Yeah, what if that place doesn't exist anymore? Are they gonna just meet in the ocean where that place used to be?
Yeah, global warming's a thing. Yeah, it's legit a century and 3.
And 3.
After that,
yeah.
Do you really think that little restaurant still won't be there forever?
Right? And also, do they go home and mark it into a calendar and there's like, okay, every day, check, like, what if they forget? What if they're in the middle of some catastrophe and they're like, oh shit, I was supposed to fucking meet Booth.
Also,
like 4 years ago.
Say it is in the middle of the fucking ocean at this point. How do they know is it?
Well, GPS exists.
So they're just gonna be a fucking rowboat in the middle of the ocean.
No, I mean, you can have like a little wrist mounted GPS that'll tell you different parts of the ocean.
Yeah, but
there's
once again, I'm putting up the rowboat. Just like...
Who knows? Also, why has it gotta be a rowboat, dog?
That's what I see in my brain.
That's like 100 years into the future from whenever we have like fucking hover packs now.
That's like...
Still probably like a hover boat by then.
So then wouldn't it be so much funnier if it was a
robot? Yeah, I mean, do it for the bit. You know what I mean?
Because it would be hilarious if they showed up in a rowboat now.
Right? And they're like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Andy's like, bro, what the fuck?
We're like, oh,
I'm from
shit,
back whenever
Andy.
Moses was around.
Hey, Andy, you still kicking.
Right? Oh yeah, she's dead. She's definitely dead by then.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
If not,
She lost her immortality.
She lost her immortality, so she didn't die fighting.
Also, how does this not all catch up to her like a Mother Gothel type situation?
I tried to bring that point up last time, and you said, no, that's not it. She doesn't just turn to dust.
Yeah, I don't know why I say that, because now I feel very strongly that she would. She's been around for hundreds of thousands of years.
Right?
So many unanswered questions. Yeah. So many. So what I feel like for the sequel is Booth and the baddie are going to team up, which I can't even really say she's a baddie, because if you die 31 million fucking times by drowning consecutively, which means one right after the motherfucking other. Who is this white baby? So
who's white baby?
I feel like at that point, nothing you do could be bad. You're like, motherfucker, I literally lived through actual hell on Earth. You can't even fathom. Just count to 31 million, motherfucker.
I dare you, just count to it.
Now think of each number that passes as me dying. And I don't mean just like peacefully in my sleep. I mean, I'm drowning. Yeah, dude. Oh.
Like, just... Can we have a discussion with the writers?
I would love to. I would love to pick their brains.
Like, as a bit, just genuinely to pick their brains.
I'm like, what is everything we've been talking about?
Yeah.
Like, what happened in all this?
Genuinely, these are questions that I have. I'm not just trying to say.
And I'm going to die very unhappy if I don't get answers to them.
Same. But
I feel like we're about to get schooled in the comments.
If we are.
If we don't already get canceled.
Listen to me, fools.
Yeah, that's a good movie though.
It is, and I'm very excited for the second one.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen it and you didn't listen to us and go watch it before, then there's no point in you watching it now. I mean, it's still a good movie. Still worth a watch. But we just ruined every part of the movie for you.
We ruined every possible part, but it's still good.
It's still a good movie, yeah. Knowing what we know about it, I'm still watching it, you know.
Yeah, we literally just watched it 2 days ago.
No, we watched it yesterday, my guy.
It's Wednesday now. Monday. It's Monday.
Oh, I didn't know that we started counting time like that now. Okay, so now we're on regular people time.
It's 4:09 in the morning.
Is it really?
Yes.
Damn. So yeah. I'm fucking really excited for the part 2.
I am too.
If y'all like us breaking down movies, then let us know, because we really enjoy talking about movies and TV shows.
Yeah, if it wasn't, like, if we had unlimited time, I'd love to just sit here and break down more movies. I'd love to do a deep dive into, like, episodes of TV shows.
I mean, we can definitely do it. If y'all want to hear our stupid takes on it and what we think about it, let us know, because we watch a lot of movies, a lot of stand-ups, and a lot of TV shows.
We watch at least 3 movies a day.
Minimum. Well, that's just at the shop, so I watch like 1 to 2 before I go to work.
I watch 1 to 2 here while I'm waking you up, and then when I go home, at least 1. So.
Yeah, so we watch a lot of movies.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's gonna be an episode, y'all.
Yeah. It's been real.
It's been real. It's been
y'all
real.
Been here, y'all.
So, to the previous part of the podcast in the beginning, just know we have no hate in our hearts. We don't hate nobody. Those are all just genuine observations that we see, and I personally feel, I don't know how you feel about comedy, but I feel like comedy is being attacked.
I feel like it's being attacked, and I feel like the only way to go back to just comedy is for people to stop giving a fuck.
Yeah. So, if you disagree with us, I love you even more for it, okay? We can all coexist.
Even if you disagree with us, respectfully, I'd like to hear your opinion in the comments.
Yeah, for sure. That's what a democracy is all about. That's what being an American is all about, is disagreeing with somebody.
Because I love hearing other people's opinions, especially ones that contradict my own.
So in the next episode, I plan on talking about the Hunger Games. Y'all want to hear us talk about the Hunger Games?
So exciting.
Yeah, because I just recently rewatched all those. But anyways, we love you guys with all of our heart. From here at Joe Castle Studios, featuring Snow and Sister Dan.
Lieutenant Dan.
Expect to see her in her whole nun get up next time. I don't know if they're gonna allow you to have prosthetics in the convent.
So they'd rather me,
You're gonna look like a midget nun.
They'd rather me just have to walk around on my knees the whole time.
I feel like there's a fair amount of that, anyways. And I love y'all. Hasta la pasta, y'all.
Hasta la pasta.